Welcome back. Today we're tackling Chapter 10 of Vibe Coding, which is called Know Your Instrument. And let me tell you, if you work with AI, this one's a total game changer. It's all about really truly understanding the tools we're using. So the chapter kicks off with this really powerful idea. Think about it. Every AI model we use isn't just a tool. It's more like a musical instrument. Each one has its own soul, right? Its own quirks and its own unique talents. And if you try to make one act like another, well, you're just setting yourself up for a whole lot of frustration. And this gets us to the heart of the chapter, this idea of model character. The author, well, he learned this the hard way. See, when you ignore an AI's personality, you don't just get bad results. Oh no, you get some truly spectacular and honestly pretty funny failures. Okay, so picture this. The author's got this amazing AI, Poetron 5000. It's an absolute genius with words, just incredible at writing beautiful, evocative stuff. But he's also pulling his hair out over this nasty bug in some C++ code. A memory leak. And he has this light bulb moment. Hey, Poetron is so smart with language, maybe it can help me debug this. And what did he get back? The most beautiful, most poetic, and most useless description of a memory leak in human history. I'm talking a full-on Shakespearean tragedy about fleeting memory sprites and pointers lost like spectral orphans. I mean, wow, breathtaking stuff for sure, but not super helpful for fixing the code. This just nails the whole problem, doesn't it? He picked the wrong tool for the job. He asked a poet to do an engineer's work. He was playing the banjo like it was a violin. It's a perfect lesson. You just can't assume an AI is going to be good at your specific task if you don't understand what it's really built for. Okay, so how do you avoid falling into that trap yourself? Well, the book gives us this fantastic, super practical solution. It's a process the author calls model profiling. Let's dive into what that actually is. Think of model profiling like this. You're basically giving your AI a job interview. It's a structured way to throw some test prompts at it to really figure out its personality before you dive into a big project together. What's it good at? Where does it kind of suck? What's its natural voice? And to make this whole thing really practical, the author lays out something called the model interview protocol. It's basically a set of tests you can run to see what the AI can do and what it can't. Let's walk through the steps. So this whole interview process has 5 main stages. You start super simple, just a basic greeting to get a feel for its vibe. Then you ramp it up, testing its logic, its creativity, how well it handles structure, all the way up to pushing its limits to see exactly where it starts to break down. Okay, now for the logic tests. And this is where it gets interesting. You're not just looking for the right answer. You want to know, can it explain how it got there? Can it follow a rule like don't use the word apple? The author tells this great story about an AI that solved one of those classic river crossing puzzles by having the fox learn to swim while carrying the goose. I mean, that's creative for sure, but definitely a fail on the logic test. Then you move on to creativity. And here, what you're really hunting for is that surprise factor. Can it come up with something that makes you go, whoa? The book mentions one model asked for new uses for a paperclip that suggested it could be a tiny antenna to receive whispers from parallel dimensions. Totally impractical, right? But hey, A+ for imagination. All right, so you've run all these tests, you've got a bunch of notes on how the AI did. Now what? You got to organize all that info. And this is where the real payoff comes in. You've done the interview, you've got all this great data. The absolute key now is to boil it all down into a simple, easy-to-use guide. And that guide is what the author calls a model profile card. It's such a brilliant idea. It summarizes everything you need to know, the AI's personality, its strengths, its weaknesses, what it's best used for, and even some handy prompting tips. It's basically your own personal cheat sheet for that model. And this whole idea came from, you guessed it, another lesson learned the hard way, this time with a coding AI called OmniCoder X. The hype for this thing was huge. It was marketed as being able to handle any programming language. So, naturally, the author just threw a task at it in COBOL. That super old, kind of obscure language. So the hype said universal coder. The reality? An absolute train wreck. Its output was just a total mess. But here's the really important part. OmniCoder X wasn't a bad AI. Not at all. It was just a highly specialized instrument, like a sleek electric guitar built for modern rock, not a folksy old concertina for playing polkas. If he'd made a profile card first, he would have seen its true character right away. It was a specialist, not a generalist. And once he knew that, he could use it for the right jobs. And it was incredible. That's the power of profiling. It stops you from using your tools for the wrong things. So why does any of this matter? What's the big takeaway? Well, when you take the time to profile your AIs, you stop being just a user and you become a conductor. You start to build what the author calls your digital orchestra. You know exactly which AI to reach for. This one's your violin for writing beautiful prose, that one's your drum for handling structured data, and that other one, that's your wild trumpet for crazy brainstorming sessions. This is how you start creating masterpieces, instead of just noise. The chapter leaves us with this one last piece of wisdom, and it really just sums everything up perfectly. At the end of the day, creating true harmony with these amazing tools isn't about just giving commands. It's about genuine understanding. So here's my challenge to you. The next time you fire up a new AI, ask yourself that question. Don't just jump in and demand a symphony. Take a little time, interview it, learn its quirks, find its hidden talents. I promise you, that little bit of effort up front will make everything you do together more harmonious, way more effective, and honestly, just a lot more fun.